Wow. Oh man, that's so good.
This is rich.
It's very rich. Welcome to Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight we're going to be drinking some old turkey juice.
Gobble gobble.
We're joined by our esteemed guest Tam.
Thanks for having me again, Sam.
Thank you for being here, Tam. Right, so we have in our possession the Russell's Reserve 15-year. What?
Highly sought after.
All right, and we're going to pit it against the other two releases from Turkey that are very, relatively affordable and,
And
not
just
really,
as hard
not so
to
much.
get.
Yeah. Well, I think the 15 right now is very hard to get, right? But we also have the CNF, the single rick house Camp Nelson F,
Yep.
which is a lot of people's last year. This was a lot of people's best bourbon of the year, right?
Yeah, or top 5 at least.
Yeah, and then we also have the 13-year batch 2. Now, I know batch 2 is not supposedly not as good as batch 1,
Yeah.
but it is still thought to be, after batch 1, like a very good one,
Very
right?
good one.
So I've not tried batch 1. I don't know how good batch 1 is, but I have to say, I did try this earlier, as you can see. Of course, I there's samples that have gone out of that. I did not drink all of that by myself.
Wow.
But I do think that this is honestly close to this. But again, it was when I tried it, it was not a blind.
Oh, I see.
So I think we should do a blind to be sure that we pick the right ones.
Yeah, let's pick the right turkey this time.
Yeah. Do you have experience with at least these two? I know you haven't tried that yet. Oh no, you did try that before.
I did try this
at a bar.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
at,
What are your biases?
my bias, I don't want to reveal too much right now, but this is glorious juice right here, guys.
All right, cool. So let's do the pours. Maybe you can do one and I'll do one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be messy. Let's just each pour our own. I guess you start from that end and I'll start from this end. It'll be. It's actually the most expensive whiskey here.
Really?
Yeah. This is MSRP on this was 300, right? MSRP on this is 250.
Wow.
MSRP on that used to be 100 and now it's like 150. So, but realistically, if you think in secondary prices, right, which is realistically, if you want to buy it now, you have to pay secondary, right? And secondary prices are about 250 to 275 for that. If you get batch 1, it's like 400 plus. For CNF, it's probably like 400 to 450, more closer to 450, honestly. And then this is right now close to 475, 500. I wonder if it'll come down over time, but given, I had to buy this in a bundle, so I had to pay, $400 and something, and I got a single barrel and a 10-year along with it. They're not bad whiskeys, but given how many whiskeys I have, I don't want extra whiskeys that I'm not excited about. So it was a bit annoying, but after having tried it, I kind of don't regret it.
So, just to make a little side note and information, everyone, the K&L that we produced this bundle from did disclose that in order to buy this, they had to buy cases of Russell's 10-year. So there is some.
It's kind of annoying,
methodology behind this for the actual stores that are selling you this.
Yeah, but the Russell's Reserve website themselves have already, they already actually had this on sale twice.
Yes.
Of course, their site crashed and we were not able to get it. Yeah, but some of our friends were able to get it, so I don't know what tricks they used, but they probably know something that we don't.
Yes, they did.
Well, it is what it is, sometimes you just gotta pay for your time, and it is what it is. Cool. Okay, so I put the caps on. I put 1 and 2 on this, 3 and 4 on these, and 5 and 6 on these.
Great.
So we'll do again the same thing. I'm gonna leave the room. Please make sure you do the same shuffle. Then you and we'll
Right.
we'll go that way. Okay, cool. All right, let's do this. And close the door. Yeah, let's get started. I think we'll just start by the right one and go from there. I'm gonna take the caps off so they get a little bit of air while we are tasting here. Wow, that is glorious, glorious turkey juice. I don't necessarily associate peanuts with anything other than Jim Beam and Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
But I'm getting like a lot of peanuts here.
Yeah.
Peanuts and just maybe also some not hazelnuts. Maybe some almonds. Maybe even some hazelnuts. Just lots of nutty notes, which is kind of unique for me. I don't usually associate it with turkey.
This is
Wild
a
turkey.
very nutty, like almost mirzapon like.
Yeah, I mean, if I smell this and I didn't know, I would guess Heaven Hill or Jim Beam.
You're also getting some flowery, like eucalyptus notes on here.
Yeah, and there's that warehouse funk, which it's like sort of a sour, sweet note. It reminds me of we visited Kentucky last October, and just standing in a rick house, you kind of have these slight fermentation plus aged oak notes.
Oh,
That is kind of like it kind of reminds me of that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Very similar again, but just like deeper. There's just like a deeper chocolate note to it. It's just the same thing, kind of amped up.
I'm getting more red prune fruits on this than I did with this one.
Interesting. I'm getting more like oak and chocolate. Like,
yeah,
just
definitely.
like very oaky to me.
Definitely more oak on this one, less flowery. This one had more flowers.
But again, I get the same kind of like nutty notes, Okay, so comparatively, a lot less oak on this for me.
Whoa.
A lot less oak for sure.
It's almost
like more fruity. Yeah. More fruity and perfumey. Yeah, more like aromatic sort of. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's nice, I think they're all different. I think if you prefer oak, you would definitely gravitate towards these two.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess that these are like the 13 and the 15, and in fact, I'm gonna guess this is a 15, just because I remember it being significantly more oaky than the other two.
I see.
I'm gonna guess this is a CNF. It just depends, what your palate likes. I like a lot of dark, oak that's like that bitter chocolate notes.
Gotcha.
I don't like bitterness, as I said, bitterness that comes from citrus, but I like bitterness that comes from oak. So,
yeah.
Do you have any initial impressions or guesses based on the notes?
So honestly, I can't really give a good guess right now until I get a good palate, because I never tasted batch 2 to this degree. But off the nose, like, this is almost Japanese-esque for people who like Scotch and Japanese or more floral.
Interesting.
Class A.
Yeah, personally, I don't get any floral in this. I get more like the nuttiness is just like overwhelming me, so I don't really.
Yeah, maybe I associate some nuttiness with that floral character.
Yeah, but definitely like I'm obviously discounting caramel, vanilla, oak, right? I mean, they're bourbons in the end of the day. So when I say nutty, it's just like obviously on top of caramel, vanilla, and oak. I assume people know that it's a bourbon review. So caramel, vanilla, oak plus. Okay, so let's do some tasting now. I'm gonna start with this one. Wow. Oh man, that's so good.
This is rich.
It's very rich. I get this like imagine if you take honey and you add like some cocoa to it, and then like you infuse some sort of oak extract into it.
Yeah.
It's that kind of rich.
Yeah. Like for me, I get that honey feeling, and then mixed in with some oak, and then for me a little bit of licorice on them.
Licorice, interesting.
Yeah, and a little bit of prune fruits.
I get the prune fruits. I would say the licorice for me is not there really. It's more like, it's very like, just it's all about the oak and the chocolate. I feel like it's just like you poured chocolate and honey on some like oak.
That sounds really good.
And try to lick it off.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
of course. The typical experience again for me for bourbon is always that initial sweet arrival,
Yeah.
and then baking spices like mouth-watering,
Yeah.
and then afterwards it goes back to like the initial flavors, and that's when I taste the oak a little bit more, like the tartness, and this is excellent.
I get some cherry notes as well on there. Yeah.
Kind of like it's more of a cherry extract, I would say, than a cherry for me. But then at the end, like definitely like that oakiness.
Yeah.
It's very dominant, prominent.
It really grips the tongue.
All right, second one.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a little bit of water here, actually. So now, after drinking some water and smelling this, I'm beginning to get more floral notes on this,
Hold on.
which is weird. I didn't even put the water in, but it feels more floral for some reason now.
Yeah, I smell the floral notes in here.
Is it just because it stats more, or because we just tasted that?
No, it's also less nutty than that one. There's more musarpon or nutty notes from Glass A than there is in Glass B.
I have to agree with that. Yeah, you're right. This is definitely more nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is so rich, dark fruit prune, like stewed fruits in a bowl, but drizzle it with cherry and brown sugar.
Yeah, this is way more concentrated in flavor.
Oh, let me taste it.
Yeah, it has to be the 15 year. I remember the 15 year I tried earlier. This was just like way more flavorful.
Give me a second because the finish is still going on after 30 seconds. Like, I'm counting, guys.
Definitely hasn't been 30 seconds, but
has been now.
Yeah, it's ongoing, man. It's very, very. I'm like almost 100% sure this has got to be a 15.
Like, this finish is very exceptional. Like, you do not get this in a lot of whiskey that have the flavor lingering in your tongue, the viscosity, and the mouthfeel just lingering there.
There's a lot of oak bitters though. Like, so if you don't like bitter flavors,
yes,
you may not enjoy this.
Yeah.
For sure. Like if you're not a coffee drinker, if you don't like dark chocolates, like that has that bitterness,
yeah,
you will probably not enjoy this, right? I think I could definitely see a lot of people that are into much sweeter bourbons. Like if you like a C923, for example, you may think that this is too much oak.
Correct. And then a good indication is like if you like tannic wines, you would easily really like this glass a lot more too, because tannic wines, they're usually a lot of oak extractions in them too.
Yeah.
But this nose, this palate, this finish, very exceptional.
It's amazing. I have to say, whatever this is, which I'm pretty sure it's got to be the 15, is one of my favorite bourbons that I have on shelf for sure. So, all right, let's go to the last one.
I'm still enjoying this one.
All right,
you can tell like how long this finish and experience is lasting.
What do you think of this one? It's so much less oak, right?
It's so much less oak. It's kind of more flat than the other two.
Yeah.
In terms of overall flavor profile,
it's a lot more fruity. I if you gave me this, I would maybe mistake this for a stag. Like a sweeter batch of stag.
Yes.
It doesn't have like the same. At this point, I think I've lost that. I've kind of lost that sense of smell for the Rick House funk.
Yeah.
So even going back, I can't really pick out the Rick House funk anymore.
I can pick it up now. Yeah, like when side by side.
But side by side, you can still like kind of.
Yeah, this last glass that we're having, I don't feel like that Rick House funk for me, or that flowery note.
Interestingly, on the palate, it's very nice, and I get the same, the similar like nutty notes, plus the chocolate notes.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised because the nose didn't give the same indication, but the palate
Yeah,
gives you the same experience.
that's the weird part too. Yeah, because that oaky dark chocolate note is
Mhm.
there on that finish and lingers,
Mhm.
but on the nose, it's like
You wouldn't expect. You
it's
wouldn't, yeah.
almost like you're walking through a flower field or perfume shop kind of situation.
Yeah, very very unexpected
Yeah,
experience.
like this is deceptively different from the nose to the palate. Like the palate is a lot more indicative of its age versus the initial nose.
Very good point. Yeah, deceptively different nose to the palate. Okay, so for my money, again, I have to say, for me, this is by far the superior experience, the middle one.
Yes.
I am almost 90% sure, 99% sure that it's the 15. This is a close second, just because, like, again, from that oaky perspective on the nose plus the palate, I prefer this. I think this is a close third.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think this is a CNF because I do remember a CNF not being as oaky on the nose. So I'm gonna say number one, number two, number three.
Mm-hmm.
So 15, 13 CNF.
So,
But I think the CNF and the 13 are close. The reason why I give it to the 13 is because one, price is like half,
oh yeah, definitely.
and two, the nose is consistent,
Yeah.
and I don't want to get surprised. I don't want to like have you know smell something and then like taste something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your ranking on your guesses?
So I'm gonna go with you for a glass B. I am 99.9% sure that this is Russell's 15. The way I can classify that experience is this is a exceptional whiskey that flavors will touch your palate, envelop it, and then linger on for a very long time. And then it's an exceptional experience.
It's super exceptional for sure.
And then my number two would also be glass A, and my third would be glass C, because there's no consistency in between the nose and the palate on this one. And I do like that Rick House aroma on the glace.
Cool. All right. So let's do a reveal to make sure that we're talking about the right things. Okay. So this is number one. So it is a 13. That should be number two for you.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
And moment of truth.
This is number 5 for me, which is that's correct. That's the 15.
Is this what number I'm thinking?
Yeah, and this would make this 3. Yeah, that is what is it this way around? Yeah, so it's like VI, so it's like 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the Russell's 15. And then this is it 4?
That is yes.
Yeah,
the 4. Yeah.
CNF.
Yeah. Okay, so there you have it. I think for us, definitely like the 15 is like a amped up 13, right? And I'm surprised that a lot of people thought the CNF is superior. I definitely don't think it's superior to batch 2, and I've heard batch 1 is even better. So
yeah.
I will be getting a batch 1, so we will do a batch 1 compared to maybe batch 2. We'll probably take out a CNF or something. Or
yeah, I think you should take out the CNF and then have Russell's batch 2 versus batch 1
versus 15. Yeah, that could be a good episode for sure. The CNF is solid, but I just don't think it's worth the price. Basically, when you're talking about secondary price of $400 and something dollars, $450, it's not there.
It's not there.
And the first batch of this was $80, I think.
Oh.
Batch 2 was $100.
Oh, okay.
I actually got this for $100 from K&L Wines.
That's awesome.
Back when K&L Wines was reasonable.
You heard the man.
It is what it is. Let's not go into this. All right, cool. Well, thanks again for joining me, Tam. Let's cheers to our favorites.
Cheers.
Thank you again, and see you next time.
You know how many bottles they produce, right?
No.
60,000.
60,000? Where'd you come up with that number?
Some guy gave it to me online.
That's
Correct me
insane.
if I'm wrong on the internet.
60,000 is way too much.
Yes.
God damn it!
So
Why are they
there's
so
more
expensive?
than MMCA for people like wanting reference.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's either 60,000 or 30,000. So correct me if I'm wrong, people.
I think you're wrong. That sounds way too much.
You know, K&L sold
K&L
200.
200 or something. Yeah, it's possible. You know.
And then we have also Davis.
I mean, then we're suckers for paying so much money for it.
I would actually pay it. Like after tasting this quality, like I'm
Well,
sorry
come
for
on.
advocating or marking up this price anymore for the people who are having a hard time, but it is a freaking exceptional experience.
Oh man, you West Coast elitist fuck.
Bloopers, please. PG-13 plus.